Where'd you grow up?
In Texas.
Really? Where in
Yeah.
Texas? What is that?
It's my Texas tattoo. Oh, it's upside down.
Oh,
But
I see it. I see it. I enlisted in Texas. I enlisted in a DFW.
no kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
my little brother lives down there.
Oh,
I
nice.
I grew up in Amarillo, up in the Panhandle.
Amarillo.
Yeah, it's like right on I-40. It's like I've been in the Army for like 17 years,
Yeah.
and I've probably met like 4 people from Amarillo.
Really?
Yeah, it's like people just drive through it and don't ever think about it again.
That's crazy because I know, like I've always met people from Texas, Florida, and California in the military.
Yeah, Texas, Ohio is a big one. I feel like I meet a ton of people from Ohio.
That's where Dave Chappelle's at. You know that?
Yeah, he's big in what is it, like Cincinnati, something like that.
I think so. I think that's an odd place to settle down.
It is, man. I don't know, especially like it's like all the memes and stuff
What memes?
about Ohio, like Skibbity, Ohio, and all that.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, you don't have kids, that's why.
I've heard of the skibbity. Can you explain what the hell that is?
You're not aware of Skibbity toilet?
I've heard the phrase, but like, is it
So,
something you say in conversation? Like that's skibbity?
well, it is now. Well, not you. Actually, I will correct myself because I did. I was talking to a colonel on 06 the other day, and after a meeting got out, he used the word skibbity, and I was like, "What's happening right now in our society?" But no, it's okay. Skibbity toilet. I'm gonna get because it's actually Hammy. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't sleep on skibbity toilet.
What is this?
Okay. So it started off as like a song on like TikTok. It was like this big fat kind of like Middle Eastern guy who would like dance to this weird like
Oh, does he have the belly jiggle?
skibbity bop bop bop.
Oh yeah.
That was the song.
Okay.
So someone got on an animation program and made these weird like toilet head creature characters that would like scoot around and like sing that song. And it was just the kind of like just weird animation like you've probably seen at some point or another.
Yeah.
Well, the guy kept making it, and now it has like lore.
Wow.
And it's Hammy is high key good. It's
Is
actually
it really?
it's actually kind of good. I've sat and watched it with my son and been like, damn, okay, skibbity toilet. So
Well, I know what I'm doing after this now. I'm gonna be like, I need to see this.
go load up skibbity toilet on YouTube. There's like almost 100 episodes or something crazy.
Are you serious?
The first 10, it's like The Office, right? The first season or whatever, you're gonna be like, oh, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But by 20 episodes in, you're gonna be like,
there's episodes to this?
yeah.
It's got a plot?
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm not even kidding.
Stop. Oh my god. Oh.
I'm telling you. Your kids will bring you weird stuff. You ever have kids, they will bring you stuff that at first you'll be like, I don't want to touch that. And then an hour later you're into it. Like Roblox. Used to hate Roblox. I'll throw down on some Roblox now.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like the game for the kids? Like it's
one. Yeah, it's every game on there is just like a spoof of like an actual like a Steam game, like a more fun game usually. But they'll build games in there and kids just get on there and play it and spend their parents' money. But some of them are actually good.
That's what I heard. I heard that there's like these Roblox gift cards and stuff, and like it's got a whole like economy to it.
Yeah, my kids, I got them all like Robux, the money for it for Christmas. Everyone was happy.
Everyone was happy.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So
well,
they like that.
I know we got skibbity back when you were like a teenager and stuff. What were your like go-to words? Now that the youth have skibbity, is it like rad?
Yeah, I would say like rad or like. I remember I was thinking the other day, like someone said like, oh, they were like, I can't remember what they were talking about. They were like, I like chicken sandwiches, and I was like, you would. That was like a thing we would just say to each other. Like it shouldn't be offensive, but if you're just like, man, I love a good cheeseburger. Yeah, you would. Like
you would like that, wouldn't you?
You would like a cheeseburger.
Whoa. no.
I've been kind of resurrecting that because we used to just say that to each other. It's just yeah, you would.
What are you trying to insinuate there? You saying that I'm having too many cheeseburgers? What the heck's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah. Where are you going with that accusation, sir? So yeah, yeah. I don't know. Just like I don't know. I grew up in the '90s, so it was just like the advertising to me was just like adults are uncool, kids are rad.
Yep.
Yeah. So you know, it was just kind of us. We were like the kids from the Tricks commercials, pretty much.
Oh my God. The Trix commercials. So whenever I see a sunset and it like has all those colors, I'm always like, "Oh, it looks like a Trix yogurt."
See. I remember when this was a proper country and Trix yogurt was like bright pink, bright blue, had all
Yeah.
the dyes in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Do you remember those plastic drinks with I should have put makeup on, so I'm not showing my age here. But do you remember those plastic drinks that it was like in a bottle, like a squishy plastic bottle, it was like red,
Squeeze it.
blue.
Squeeze it.
Was that what those
Yeah.
were?
Squeeze it. It had like the kind of like 2-prong lid,
Yeah.
and you had to kind of twist it. Yeah, squeeze it.
Yeah,
And
they
they had
look like
like weird faces on them.
yeah,
They'd be like,
yeah.
squeeze it.
Huh.
Those were fire.
Do you remember the
Remember those?
you
Sobe
remember
was a big one. The lizard milk,
I remember
whatever.
yeah. Yeah. I remember
Sobe
that
was
one.
weird. It was
I
fire.
remember that one. When you were younger and you were in like high school, or did you go to college?
Nah, I went to online college.
You did?
Yeah, I
How was
actually
that?
dropped out of high school before I joined the army. So
Shut up. Did you really?
yeah, didn't
What?
like it.
What? How did can you tell the story of the lore? That's pretty interesting.
The lore.
The lore.
Yeah, no, like I never liked school to begin with, so I went to a high school kind of on the north side of the town I grew up in, Amarillo, and it was very rural. It was a very, very rural, very white, very conservative part of a very white, rural, conservative town. So, and
Rural
somewhere-
three times
Yeah.
rural.
three times over, it was rural. And probably about like 5th or 6th grade, I was like, I think someone had loaned me a Metallica tape, like not a CD, but the actual cassette. And I listened to that. I was like, I'm going to learn how to play guitar. And I kind of slowly was, by my freshman year in high school, I was wearing like black hoodies and, I had like the hair on my face and I was like swinging it out of the way. And
Oh yeah.
I was like one of those kids, and I did not fit in my high school at all.
Was it very country? Being
It was,
rural?
yeah. It was pretty much everyone I went to school with was like, like in Dallas, like you've been in Dallas, right? Like there's a lot of like cowboys, like guys who wear cowboy hats and drive Dodge Rams, but they go live in an HOA in the suburbs somewhere. These were actual like shit kickers, like cowboys. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but
yeah, absolutely.
Straight up like country guys and girls. So, and I just was not that at the time. So yeah, high school was kind of a drag. Most of my friends lived in town, and we started like playing in bands together and skateboarding and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, school's for the birds. I'm out. So I finished my sophomore year and never went back.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Because you couldn't join until you were 18. So what'd you do between 16 and 18?
Played a lot of music for sure. I went on tour.
What?
With a band called the Gentleman Homicide. Yeah.
You went on tour before you're 18? Is that legal?
I did it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did that. I was in an off-Broadway, like a musical in San Antonio.
Stop.
Yeah, I did that.
What did you sing? Like, what was your...
I played a character who was like, so it was called the Great American Trailer Park Musical. It was a really funny show.
It sounds funny.
Yeah, it was a good time. But I was like oddly enough, like I was the shit kicker, like paint huffing boyfriend who was like chasing his stripper girlfriend around through the trailer park or whatever. So I had this kind of like country song, and I had to wear like Wrangler jeans and a vest, and
oh no,
it was kind of funny. But I grew up in that environment, so
yeah,
conjuring that character was not much of a reach for me.
Is that, would you say that that was kind of when your creativity was hitting, maybe even inspired by, playing characters and, doing different stuff because your content, you have a lot of characters. I was wondering, do you think that started at a younger age and then like slowly flourish, or how did that start?
Yeah, no, totally. Um, I mean, I'd acted in high school and stuff. Like I was in plays and stuff. I never did anything like huge. Huge. That musical I did
Hmm.
um, was probably the biggest thing I ever did, and it wasn't a big deal, even in San Antonio. But um, I liked acting. I knew I liked acting. I wanted from a very young age. I knew I wanted to either act, voice act, and at one point I actually wanted to be like a cartoonist. I wanted to actually like make and be in my own cartoon. I always thought that would be fun. Um, but yeah, you know, all throughout high school, like even though I wasn't necessarily one of the cool kids, I was good at making people laugh and doing voices and stuff like that and doing impressions of people.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I got to the army, I kind of was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to put all that stuff away and kind of be straight laced. And I was 19. I didn't really know any better at the time. I didn't realize that military people were going to be among some of the funniest people I was ever going to spend time with in my life.
Yeah,
But,
right.
but yeah, no, like even in basic training, I was doing like impressions of the drill sergeants and stuff, which of course made its way back to them. And then they,
Oh, always.
on the last day, they were like, "All right, who got the impressions?" And they were like, "Green does." So I had to do that. But yeah, no, I've kind of on and off throughout my life done that.
Interesting. What did when you joined the army, are you still in that same, what is it, MOS? Are you still in the same MOS?
Yeah. So I came in. I chose air defense because it sounded smart and
It does sound smart.
didn't have yeah, that's why I picked it. It didn't have it wasn't like you had to come in and have X amount of like experience or certifications or anything, and it sounded like something like when I got out I'd have some skills I could lean on. So
Right.
went with that, and did that for about 6 or 7 years
Hmm.
until I was about a staff sergeant, and then I was like, I like the skills and the work portion of this. I'm not so much for like the babysitting aspect of, excuse me, being an NCO. So, not that NCOs do a lot of work in all the services for sure. It's hard work. It's kind of unforgiving work and thankless.
Mm,
But yeah, I
right.
wanted to stay on my systems and I wanted to stay working on the actual aspects of my job that I signed up to work on. So that's I dropped a warrant packet and just kind of chose the technical route for the rest of my career.
How was it doing the warrant packet? How was
It's
that
not as
experience?
it's not as hard as everyone makes it out to sound. Like I have a lot of people that will. I think there's a lot of myth and mystery kind of surrounding it.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I remember being a private and them telling us like becoming a warrant officer is like some kind of like mythical, like you got to stand before this like robed committee or something and like offer a sacrifice or something like that. But no, it's legitimately the application. As long as you're doing your job, you're in shape. You know, a good enough soldier. For the Army's part anyway. It's rather simple to do. If you're willing to do the legwork and put the packet together and stuff. A lot of people are not self starters, and so that is kind of its own filtration process, if you will. If someone's not motivated enough to like put a packet together, fill out
Mm,
some paperwork, and go get it, go get a physical done, then okay, maybe, probably stay in NCO. Then you know what I mean.
yeah.
So
What would you say the hardest part about being a warrant officer is?
the hardest part,
Yeah. You unicorns, what the heck do you guys do? I know you have multiple covers or multiple hats.
yeah, we do. They all have uses too. Um, Now the hardest part, honestly, for me, like believe it or not, has been the day I made CW3. It got real tough
What happened?
because it's nothing happened that day, but that was the turning point in my career from being like chief down at the unit, like helping guys out, walking around with my coffee cup, talking to soldiers, putting my hands on systems, and like
Mhm.
I told my boss a couple of weeks ago, I was like, sir, I feel like I used to hit a home run a week, straight up. Like I would go into the motor pool and I was like, it was like the Fonz showing up on Happy Days. Like I would just smack the jukebox and it would start playing everyone's favorite song. And that doesn't happen anymore.
Since
And
hitting 3?
yeah. I think my career has kind of taken a turn toward the more like bureaucratic, like a lot of meetings, a lot of really kind of cerebral work on stuff that's not even going to happen for like 5 or 6 years. So it's a lot of like planning and schedules and budgets and stuff, which is, you know, I don't even think I'm outing myself as saying like that is completely not my jam. I think in hindsight, I probably should have worked a little harder to just stay online, stay in the units. This was something that I thought was going to be like, hey, cool. Yeah. This is the natural progression, right? We'd go the corporate route. We start working in the office. We rub elbows and fill out a Rolodex or whatever. But I don't know. In hindsight, like one of my biggest beefs about this part of my career right now is I don't spend near enough time around other people in uniform, specifically soldiers. Like I feel weird in that at this day I have 17 years in the Army. I feel like someone of my time in service should be like completely like, oh, I don't want any kids coming in the Army today. They've been getting on my nerves. And their skibbity toilets and their Fortnite. Like, I love talking to brand new soldiers. Smack out of AIT, man. Let's talk. Let's go have lunch. They're way more fun than anyone gives them credit. So those honestly, like if I could have it my way, I would just spend my time with them. Yeah.
When you were you always, when you were making content, were you always a warrant officer?
I was, yeah. I started completely accidental. There was no like, I'm going to be a content creator. Like,
fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Yeah.
I think it kind of happens for all of us that way. Like,
yep.
I downloaded TikTok because I finally saw enough of them, and I was like, I think the one that I saw that kind of like pushed me over the edge was I don't know if you remember Lindsay Wolf. She was a CW3.
I'm bad with names, but if you say the video.
Yeah, she's dark haired. This is like 5 or 6 years ago, but she's great. She's really funny. She did a lot of lip sync stuff and made a lot of great content. She's since retired, but she made a video in her uniform. She had CW3 rank on. I'm a CW2 at the time. She makes this kind of funny video, and I see it on made its way to like Facebook or something. I was like, dude, no way.
We can do that.
Yeah, that's allowed. So I jumped on there one day, and I remember exactly what my first TikTok was. I was at my desk, and it was like so bad. Like I literally, it's the one, the ones where you can still see people like they're pulling their hand away from hitting the record button.
Yep.
Like I was doing that, but I did a lip sync of that part in Captain America when the Red Skull's like cuts off one head and 2 more shall take its place or whatever. I just lip synced that part and put like warrant officers, am I right, or something as the captain, and it blew up. I was like,
did it really? Your first one?
Yeah, it took off really fast.
Wow.
And people are like, whoa, warrant. So I was like, I guess I'm making another one tomorrow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like your origin story for that.
Yeah. It like I said, there was no plan in place, but there was definitely like looking back a before and after that moment in my life. Like after, I think probably after about a month or 2 was when I'd be like at the gym on base and guys would come up, and it wouldn't just be like, oh, hey, I saw your video the other day. They'd be like, hey, are you the guy? And I was like, yeah, man. And yeah, people were legitimately like geeked to see me at that point. So I was like, man, this is a real thing. So kept doing it.
How do you handle, because I've talked to different creators and everybody handles talking to people that approach them in public differently. How do you handle it? You seem since you had like the Broadway stuff that you're very good with like new faces and you're doing like music stage stuff. Would that be fair to assume that you're like, yeah, like I come on me?
Yeah, no, yeah. I try to keep it Keanu, you know what I mean? Like like
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, like I would want, if I met a famous person, Keanu Reeves is an example, I would want him to be what I think he is, right? I want him to be like, whoa,
Yep.
hey, man, come on, yeah, let's take a selfie. You know, like
Yeah.
so
Oh man.
I try to be, you know, there's been a couple bad days where people are like, hey, you're him. And I'm like, yeah. And
yeah.
I try, yeah. So, but yeah, for as far as I can muster, I try to make it a happy experience for because I wouldn't matter if they weren't watching it. So
yeah.
I'm grateful to anyone who's, you know, gonna come up and be like, dude, I love your, you know, because normally they're saying very encouraging things to me, like, hey, we quote your videos, or we you know, like, man, I had a kid stop me the other day and he was like, I joined the army because of your content. I was like, I don't know what about my content will make anyone want to join the army, but I'm glad you're here, bud.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and I really do, like, I try to tell them, like, hey, that means a lot, you know what I mean? Because legitimately, it's not just like, hey, thanks for feeding my ego, bud, but it legitimately is encouraging, and I walk away from those encounters feeling hopefully just as good as they do, you know, when someone's like, hey, your content helped, or it's funny, or it, you know, it cheers me up on bad days and stuff. That's why I do it. So how do you handle it? You probably, so I have this theory around the like, especially like military content creators, like if you're away from the base, it seems a lot less likely that you'll have a run-in with a fan, but it does happen. So I'm assuming it happens.
Depends on the base.
Yeah. Does it happen to you a lot, or not ever? Okay. Now you came on my podcast before and you said you don't go out a ton.
No, I avoid life and the planet, everything outside of the walls I avoid. I don't go, which is good, just gonna be good for me because I'm gonna be moving closer to family and they go outside all the time. We're all gonna be closer and I'll be going outside and they're gonna get me out of these dang walls. I am so in my head, very in my head. Whenever I meet somebody, and this is just, I grew up super insecure, incredibly insecure. And so, and like in a different environment than a lot of other people. But so the way I am, which I need to fix, is I'm always worried about what the other person is like thinking. And sometimes when somebody recognizes you, especially at the gym, you know, they're looking at you like this, right? And they're kind of doing this and they're doing that. Is that who I think it is? But for me at the gym or something like that, I'm thinking, oh my God, I just stole their piece of equipment. Oh my God, I bet they were using this. I need to keep my head down and like, you know, scurry away kind of thing. And then I really don't know how to talk to new people either. So I've really kind of avoided. I would love it. It's so hard because someone like recognizes you and then they come up to you and then they're like, hey, and then I'm like, oh my God, have we met? And I forget my face is on a freaking algorithm. And then it's like, oh yeah, hi, like, yeah, you know, cool. But I'm really awkward. I'm horrible with it. Super uncomfortable. And I feel like I did a terrible job each time I meet somebody. So I need to be more like you.
I don't nail it every time. Like I've had some very awkward like this thing, like when they're like they're trying to dap you out, and I'm like, oh, okay, what are we doing here? Like all the weird interactions, but you know, it's all good. I bet if someone walked up to you and was like, it's Hammy, I can't believe you're here, you would nail it.
I would be excited. It's just usually leading up to that point, it's a lot of like
because you feel the eyes on you. You feel the eyes on, like the gym is probably the biggest one, right? Like if you're at the gym and you're working out and you got a guy who clearly spotted you, is also clearly not,
they're locked in on you,
not brave enough to just come, hey, I really like your videos. And that, so you'll get those, and then you'll get the message after. They'll be like, hey, I saw you at the gym in the comments or something. And you're like, why didn't you say hi? I saw you see me. I saw you see me. Go to their profile, like, yeah, I remember that guy's face. He was staring at me. I should have called the police on you. No. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's something I never planned for, but
Yeah. I remember I made a video because I was so like openly awkward about it. And I was like, hey, like if you see me from far away, I'm like, just go like this because this is sign language for like I love you. And I've been like I had like a book of sign language when I was like little and I know like a little bit of it. So I was like, if you see me, just go like this and then like I'll know, whatever. But that was like so long ago. But you should have one. You should have like a you
yeah.
should have like a something like a or something like that. I feel like that would fit you. No,
Hey.
no, no, not one of those.
See me out in your hood, just throw it up.
Yeah, that's perfect. I do want to know, and I'm sorry if you've talked about this before, but the username Onexpunchxdad is quite unique. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love One Punch. One Punch is a very, very funny anime. How did
Oh,
you
yeah.
come up with that? What is the origin story of that?
It's kind of like you just said. Honestly, it was like, I watched the anime not long after it dropped,
Hmm.
and I, like already because I'm like, especially because I went bald rather young in life. Most of my buddies were like, "You got to watch this, man. It's bald guy stuff. You'd love it."
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But no, it's legitimately like as a show, it's if for anyone who's like a hard nosed, like I don't know about anime, like
Hmm.
it is a great on ramp into anime because it's so fucking funny.
It
It is
is.
it is among one of the funnier Japanese anime shows that I've ever seen. So and the action's really cool. There's a lot of really cool scenes throughout
Hmm.
season 1 and season 2. So it was equal parts of that. I I feel like it's kind of crass to say like, and I look like him just because I'm bald, but I I initially I just took the name. I was just like I was just One Punch Dad because I have kids, right? And
Yeah.
I threw some X's in there because I'm kind of like a recovering hardcore kid, so I was like, yeah, look more extreme. But I legitimately like I chose it because that was going to be my Instagram handle
Hmm.
to all 400 people that followed me. It was just like that's how they can find me on Instagram.
Did you start
Uh,
on Instagram and then make your TikTok?
no, I had an Instagram,
Hmm.
but when I made my TikTok, I'd already kind of like changed my name to One Punch Dad or whatever. I was like, well, I guess I'll use that. Again, not thinking like this is the name of like a brand or anything like that. It was
Right.
like, it's me. I'm gonna go buy on the internet, right? It's like my gamer tag, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so as it kind of picked up speed a little bit, I was like, well, maybe I could, that's when I kind of like cooked up the logo that kind of looks like it's like him but wearing a uniform or whatever. I was like, okay.
Hmm.
And people, I have honestly kind of quietly wanted to move away from using that because it is like a licensed picture of One Punch Man, but I'm kind
There's fan art. There's so much stuff
of
out
yeah.
there.
It's people have kind of latched onto it. So, and I don't know. There's worth characters to get compared to. So, but yeah, no, it just again, kind of like making content in general. It just kind of happened, and I was like, all right, that's who we are now. So,
I
stick with
like
it.
that.
How'd you come up with Warhamster?
I can't tell you yet. I haven't told anybody. Okay,
Yeah,
this is a one-way
this is
interview. No, I'm just
that's like
kidding.
it's like George R. Martin.
I
Man,
know. I can't give it away yet. The day that I'm like 60 something and I'm not making, I'm not on Twitch anymore, I will drop the lore when nobody cares and I'm all crusty and all that stuff. I'll
the,
drop it and nobody will care.
the Warhamster truthers are gonna dig it up. They're gonna find the answers.
They are gonna dig it up. That's a very nice patch in the background, by the way. That square one
It
with
is,
the
yeah.
green.
I
That's
have that
great.
one. I have Sniper Chan on my book.
Sniper
And
Chan was my favorite. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't have my book with me. Yeah, I got Sniper Chan on my book. I have the medic one that's kind of like the American flag one, the big one. That one's on my backpack. And then I think I might have given the other one to a friend because I was like,
Let's
I'm
go.
running I'm running out of patch real estate here. But yeah, uh, I love these things. Yeah, they're great.
You got a great patch wall.
Thanks.
I was gonna say, which one's your favorite?
Man,
You got a lot of good ones.
I do. Probably this is one of the first ones I ever got. I went to Valiant Shield, which is
Hmm.
a big Indo-PACOM exercise, and one of the fighter squadrons out there, they all make custom patches like for big exercises, and they just wear them on their uniform. It's like their leadership wants them to have a good time.
Yeah, they're so bougie.
But this one, their two call signs for their wing or their squadron or whatever is vampire and Cox, as in cockpit.
Oh,
But
of
it just
course.
says vampire Cox on
Of
it.
course.
So, and it's just a dope patch. But yeah, this one is like, and I actually like when I got it, of course, I was like, dude, this is a boon. I'm going to keep this forever. I had it on my desk, and some freaking major came by and was like, hey, Chief, we need to talk about this patch here. And I was like, let's talk about it, sir. What would you like to know?
Oh my god!
Oh, I just, you need to be careful about the optics of that. I'm like, the optics are, it's pretty cool. And I think maybe you're the one with your mind in the gutter, sir. So he's like, he kind of walked away. I was like, yeah, beat it, weirdo.
I respect that about the Army so much. Y'all handle conflict a lot different than we do. You guys kind of are a little bit, not a little bit, way tougher. Your guys' like stuff. For us, it's like paperwork. Everything's paperwork. Nobody gets smoked. Nobody does anything. It's just paperwork. I respect that y'all have smoking.
We kind of, it's a dying thing, I guess. I haven't like made someone do push-ups in probably 10 years. It's one of those things, like, especially for me being a warrant officer, it'd be a weird thing for me to be like, hey, kid, beat your face. But like, I realized very quickly, like, you can make a bigger impression on someone when you're angry at them and you speak at a very calm volume. And you're just kind of like, hey, listen, what you're doing right now is not right. You got to fix it. But I've seen it turn people around. Like, if you can just address them, not necessarily like nice and you're coddling them, but just letting them know, like, hey, if you do that again, I'm gonna make your life hard. They take it much more serious than someone coming in and just yelling and you know, like throwing a fit and stuff. So I prefer the calm, like, I'll snap your neck in your sleep approach. But
oh my god.
So
that's good. That's effective. That's good.
Yeah, it works. So you're really not telling anyone what Warhamster came from?
No, not at all. No, I've told.
Is it a video game character?
No, it's not. There's lore. There's lore to it. There's there's lore.
Yeah, I have a feeling you didn't do it thoughtlessly. I'm just trying to figure out what it could be.
No, you could never know. The lore is so deep, and I one day when I'm 60, I will drop it. I will drop it when nobody knows.
Okay, all right.
What do you think about just kind of when you said, you know, haven't smoked somebody in 10 years? Army, you've been in the Army 16, 17 years, you said? Have you seen it change at all in that past 10 years? Do you like where it's going? Do you dislike? Do some things confuse you? Do you understand where it's going? Do you think we should go back to some things? Because a lot of people online will kind of have different things that they say about it. You know, back in my day. And then someone says, well, that's not really efficient anymore. And where do you stand on that?
I think there's a middle ground to it, right? I don't necessarily dislike where it's headed. There's things that happen from the top level, like the walking back the beard guidance, I think was maybe, and this is Josh talking, but I don't necessarily think that was the best thing, because of how optically it just felt like someone slamming a door and trying to say, like, hey, we're not tough, we're gonna get tough again, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Can you explain what you mean by the beard guidance, just so I'm tracking?
Yeah, so we I want to say probably about, it really kind of hit like a surge about 2 or 3 years ago, where the Army didn't necessarily say you can have a beard. As you know, as you can see, I don't have a beard, but it became much simpler for people seeking religious exemption.
Oh yeah.
Or had a legitimate skin condition.
Pseudofolliculitis.
Yes, thank you. To obtain a shaving waiver and to go throughout there. So when I came in the Army, if you walked around with a beard at all, it was very odd. It stuck out. As
it's still kind of odd, honestly.
It was for a long time, but like I said, about 3 or 4 years ago, it became so common that when you saw someone with a beard, suddenly it wasn't that it didn't stop you in your tracks like it did in 2008, 2009.
Hmm.
Because there were people who were realizing like, hey, I don't have to shave. I don't have to scrape my face to death and have to deal with painful,
Yeah.
irritation. Or, hey, I can, worship the God of my choice and have the beard that comes associated with that belief system.
Hmm.
And I thought that was a great thing. I thought that's a great way for the army to say like, hey,
We're accepting, we're
we're
evolving.
yeah, I grew up watching, Schoolhouse Rock talking about America being a melting pot. And, you know,
Schoolhouse.
yeah, legit. And,
Oh my God.
so the idea of being in a foxhole with a Viking on my right and a Sikh guy in a turban to my left, and we're there kind of fighting to protect the same thing.
Yeah.
I found that very charming. I found that to be a very romantic idea. So
Hmm.
the beard thing, for them to kind of just like stomp it out as a way to, it just almost seemed performative the way it was done.
Mm.
It doesn't
It,
really, it doesn't win us anything. Like, we don't get anything from that.
what is it now? Because I've seen a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't get the briefs anymore, obviously. What did they change it to?
So they've kind of tightened their, if you haven't gotten either of those, the shaving profile or the
Hmm.
religious exemption,
Hmm.
your road to get one now is I would imagine far more difficult and arduous.
Hmm.
If you have one, keeping it is now a lot more strenuous. They want you to have that paperwork on you. You're pretty much subject to a beard shakedown at any given point.
Hmm.
If it's for the skin condition, you're
Yeah.
going to get that checked regularly. And there's even, talk, and this is without me having everything in front of me here, but there's even talk about, if you can't get rid of that perhaps you're not retained, right? They put you out of the army. So
Interesting.
yeah, so stuff like that is like, man, that kind of seems like a step in the wrong direction. But
I
we'll see what happens.
remember I remember when I was in and we got the permission for the pseudofolliculitis to go from 1 year renewal to 5 years.
Yeah,
Um, we were stoked. We were stoked. We're like, yes, thank
yeah,
goodness. Like, this is not an appointment that needs to be wasted. I don't have to like go in and like have, because if one doctor, one provider has, like 1,200 patients and, 10% of those are, beard follow-ups, that's reducing the slots that are already so few and far in between. It's like, okay, you have one, you're good for 5 years, here's the rules and regulations. I'll see you in 5 years. And that was nice because we could have slots that were for people now for other problems, musculoskeletal, anything else, PTSD, all that stuff.
yeah.
Mental
Actual,
health, importantly.
yeah, actual medical problems.
Yeah, now that has to be taken up by a slot. It's like, okay, cool. So now our providers have to have another slot in their day that's going to be for, yep, you
Weird.
still need a beard. Okay, bye.
Yeah. It's another example. Like, haven't done it for as long as I have. It's just like, when you look out and you kind of assess like the things that are actively wrong with not just the army in general, but like, what are the soldiers dealing with?
Yeah.
Like shitty barracks,
Hmm.
half cooked chicken at the DFAC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it's like, your focus is off here. So yeah, stuff like that. But there's hopeful things too. I mean, the economy seems like it's always like just kind of teetering these days, and
Hmm.
things get more expensive, and college gets more expensive. And I think going to, having the traditional college experience where you go smack out of high school and then you accrue all this student debt and all that stuff,
Yeah.
that becomes a bigger deal as things become more expensive. So on the brighter side, I do feel like it still represents a great opportunity to kind of circumvent a lot of the bullshit involved
Oh,
in
yeah.
getting educated and in obtaining skills and stuff like that. As much as I hope that my kids find another alternate route through their life, I feel like going to the army, as difficult as it can be,
Hmm.
is also, or the military in general, it's provided me
Air
a lot
Force.
of, yeah, Air Force, whatever. It's provided me a lot of opportunities that I otherwise would not have had with my skill set coming in. So
I agree. I think I know I have a friend, she just got her doctorate in physical therapy. So she went to school at 18, just got done at 23, 24. She got her doctorate, and she can't go into any sort of private practice unless she has 5 years under her belt. And as you know, in the military, even if you were doing your job, my job, you can get into pretty much any doctorate school, any job, just because you have the accumulated amount of experience of time on the job and we do a lot more stuff that civilian people do when it's for certain things. So
Yeah.
our stuff translates generally very well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's the nice part. And, especially like, there's a lot of people I think that get out and struggle to find a job
mhm,
and there's a lot of, veteran homelessness is a very big deal, but there are a lot of opportunities coming out of the military
mhm,
to to avoid that. Um, and I try not to discount. I've talked to people who have come out of the military and gone straight into to unemployment, but
yeah,
for what it's worth, if you can keep on trucking and keep that same momentum that you have when you're in the military
mhm,
and kind of bring that fire into a new job, a civilian job, there's things out there for everyone, and you just kind of got to be you got to be hungry, and you got to be looking for the thing that you legitimately want to do and the thing that you're good at doing and the thing you're going to love doing 5 years from that, so which
mhm.
is tough, but
When you say about, like people, veterans and stuff and becoming homeless, it just kind of reminds me when it comes to the military and mental health. You shared a story on your YouTube about how you had a leader that asked you, that cared about you and, said like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I don't think we do that enough in the military. Even when you get out and you're a veteran, like people don't really like once you're out, people don't check in on you anymore. I know I've checked in on people that are still in. Some of them have um, gone through some really difficult times, but I feel like it's kind of missing in some places in the leadership.
yeah.
In like your experience, what advice would you like give to leaders to kind of allow things to open the door? Because I know personally soldiers, airmen that were homeless while they were in, which is illegal.
Yeah.
I've known them go through terrible, terrible situations that weren't necessarily at all their fault. You do have the stereotypical, like toxic leadership, and I know, like especially during the holidays, which is a super important, like time that I usually speak out about this, but I always hated it when people would ask, like, what are your plans for the holidays? Because I would either like know my buddies or like know what's going on. I know this person's a foster kid and they don't tell anybody that. And they
Yeah.
say, like, what are your plans? And their plans are, they'll lie. They'll lie because they know they're going to be home by themselves or, maybe with a friend or something. Um, but just in your position and from what you shared in that video, do you have any advice if like the military was listening to kind of create that opportunity for people? Because you don't really know. Sometimes you don't know.
Yeah, no, it's such a like if we could bottle that, right, and just hand it out, I think that would. I mean, legitimately, like it feels like it's such a vital thing that
Yeah.
you either, as a people skill, you either have it or you just do not. Um, I was very lucky, I guess, in reference to what you're talking about. My boss, who actually just changed out, he's actually fixing to retire. Sean Gibe is his name. And I say that because I want to highlight him. He's a fantastic leader. Um, he just had this countenance. We've worked together before, so this is actually the second job we have worked together at.
Hmm.
But
So you had some history.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. Not deep. I mean, it's like I don't think he could name all my kids, and I don't take that personally. Sometimes I forget. So, but no, he just like in a professional setting, he, you know, I've told him several times, like he just, you know, not my father, but like a father to me in a
Yeah.
weird way.
Yeah.
And it was just in the way in that moment, he could tell I was not okay, you know, and I wasn't. Um, my life was spinning out of control, and I had no ability to bring it back under control.
Hmm.
And it was just in the way that he asked. You know, it wasn't like a coach might ask a kid who gets knocked out on the football field, "Hey, are you okay? Because I need you to play more football, right?" It was not that. He asked in a way that was like, "I don't really care what else is going on out there. Are you okay?"
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, it broke me because it was a mix of the sincerity and the concern that he showed in that moment, that regardless of everything that was going on wrong
Hmm.
in my life,
Hmm.
he wanted to make sure that I was gonna remain, you know what I mean? That I was gonna
Yeah.
be okay. And again, boy, if we could just bottle that countenance, right, and hand it out to executive level commanders and just say like, hey, this is the absolute tone you need to strike when
Yeah.
you encounter someone in your formation who is struggling or even suffering. Um,
Yeah.
and even as a leader myself, so I don't really actually have subordinates right now. I don't have anyone who works for me.
Hmm.
I'm on a team, but I don't have anyone who's like comes to me for marching orders at the beginning of the week. Um, but you know, there's been times in my career where I feel like I've done a good job of that, right? Like seeing a young man or a young woman who is struggling and they're
Hmm.
hurting or they're upset or they're angry at a coworker or something like that, and just like, hey, let's talk about it, right? Or with my
Hmm.
kids, right? You know, like when they're upset, they're clearly, you know, they're acting out, they're cutting me an attitude, they're being contentious with the other kids. I'm like, hey, what's going on, big guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Not in a way of like, hey, we got stuff to do, or you're messing up the peace around here, so what's the big deal? But
Yeah.
more like hey, people don't act like that unless they're hurt, and I can tell you're hurt. So what's up? And like I said, there's been times I feel like I've done a good job at that, and there's been times I've fucked it up. I would say that's the goal, right? Is to show some humility. I think that
Hmm.
if there's one trait we lack as a service, as a military in America, it's humility. 100%. It doesn't matter where you've been in the 17 years leading up to that moment. I am a human. You're a human. We're at
Hmm.
different stages in life, but we can both be the same on the same plane. There's no rules against that. There's no rule against a CW3 coming up to a private first class, putting my hand on his shoulder, or at least whatever, you know, maybe he doesn't want to be touched, but you know, metaphorically putting my hand on his shoulder.
Yes.
Hey, man, what do you need? You know, what are your emotions?
Yeah.
But it's hard. You know, op tempo kicks up, and you started. You know, you don't ignore signs, but you miss them, right?
Yeah.
Um, Kind of the fog of war type effect. Um, you know, it's just about knowing your people and staying vigilant and just paying some attention.
Do
So
you think, and then I'm asking this with the intention of maybe highlighting something to, maybe a leader that's watching. When your leadership asked you that, was it something that day that do you think stood out to them to ask you, or do you think it was like a general stand back observation, like, hey, this work routine, this kind of maybe work behavior or way you were interacting at work was long period of time and that what led up to it? Because sometimes it's not always black and white, and we have the Lord knows we have the freaking brief we all have to go to, and everything looks different. Everything's kind of subjective, and everyone
yeah,
handles things differently. Some people are really good at hiding stuff, really, really good at hiding stuff.
yeah. No, 100%. Like, you know, I have no problem saying like it 100% had to do with probably two things, right? One is that my work performance was trash. Like I was dropping tasks,
Mm,
leaving people hanging, just making mistakes, right? Not what I consider typical behavior, depending on who you ask, I guess. But and then the other thing was just my countenance. Like you talked about being able to hide it.
mhm,
Maybe not the best thing, but I've always kind of envied people who could hide it. But I I have learned in recent years that if I am not having a good day, someone's gonna know. Apparently, there's just a big red fluorescent frowny face hanging above my head, like it's my gamer tag above my head.
Oh my God.
It's just like people are like, "You all right, Green? You good? You good, brother?" Like I can't hide it. So when I'm really, really not doing good,
Yeah.
it is blatantly obvious. So they and like I said, you know, he saw the signs, pulled me aside, and was like, "We got to talk about these indicators, man." Like, and it wasn't in a got you way. It wasn't in a like, "Yeah, you're messing a bunch of stuff up." Like genuine concern, because that's not how I normally am. You know, normally I'm fairly talkative at the office. I haven't been in recent months, obviously, but yeah, you know, normally I'm pretty bouncy and you know cutting it up at the water cooler, as they say, and that's just that it kind of changed. So
I want to ask, and I think we all a lot of people care about you. A lot of people care about you. Other creators and stuff, you know, we're all kind of understanding what's going on it recently. How are you doing?
yeah, that's a tougher question to answer than I thought it would be. My go-to answer, Hammy, is normally, "Hey, I'm better every day," and that's just almost kind of a way to not wave people off, but to let them know like the trajectory is positive.
Yeah.
I legitimately like I feel hope. You know, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm headed in a good direction. You know,
Started the band stuff, which is really cool to see.
yeah. You know, I've got you know a hobby and people that I can kind of interact with and do something that I really really love
Mm-hmm.
with, and that's been awesome, right? That's what a great outlet, and that came really fast after everything. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a month or month and a half later, after my wife passed away, that they were like, let's do this, man. Come on, we you'd be great. We need you, and it'll be a great time. We just do it for fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
and that's been wonderful. But
And you guys are good, which actually helps.
yeah. I was in the group chat for the band earlier. I was like, hey, our music's actually kind of good. And they're like, we're glad you think so. But it's complicated, right? Like there are I would say there are good days and good and bad days, but it's almost just like there are mostly good days with moments where time kind of stops still,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to just kind of like have that moment of like, oh yeah, that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of just re-washes over you. It gets less intense as time goes on. It doesn't like take you out when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just these moments that kind of just give you this grave pause. Um, I would say overall, like I do kind of feel like I'm working with a limp. Um, you know, professionally for sure. Like I just don't have the same enthusiasm I had a year ago. It's been tough to kind of get back to that and be able to put as much effort and energy into that. Largely because of you know single father taking care of 4 kids now. Like they get first pickings on everything good that I got in me. And thankfully, most of my leadership has been very understanding of that and not, you know, I don't have a job where it's like, you know, it's going to fall apart if I'm not there. So I give
Mm-hmm.
them everything that I can when I'm there. Um, Making content has been tough for multiple reasons. One is that I'm kind of reassessing like what I want to do because I did through that kind of around that event in my life, like I took a large break and I stepped away from it. I went
Mm-hmm.
at one point I didn't post TikTok for like 40 something days, and I never thought that would happen.
I remember the post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so kind of coming out of that and just reassessing because there was a lot of me kind of falling apart in front of a boss that had to do with like
Mm-hmm.
I got to make a video, and it was this thing. I was, you know, by the end I was making videos and people were kind of watching it, but I was so caught up in those videos needing to achieve a certain
Mm,
amount of like viewership and monetize well, and for the
yeah.
account to stay healthy. And honestly, like looking back, like all that work helped, but it was never like I never had this gangbusters moment. There's a lot of envy at work there too. You know, I have a lot of
What do
we
you
know a
mean?
lot of well, you know, we know a lot of creators who've done very well, not even just in the viewership, followership realm.
Ah,
They're doing well,
yeah.
and I'm, you know, for better or worse, you know, I'm embarrassed to say that at one point, you know, at my low point, like I was extremely envious of that. You know, I would
Mm,
go home and be like, I'm funny, I'm awesome, people like me. Why, you know, why don't I have this many on Instagram? Why don't I have this many on TikTok? And it was just this attitude of like I should have more.
mhm,
Um, and man, it really just like left a smear on content making for a long time for me because I went into rehab after my boss talked to me because
mhm,
I was not doing good. So I went away for like a month, you know, and cleansed. Had my phone for like 30 minutes a day. It
mhm.
was amazing. I was like touching grass and you know like had my brain back. Felt like for
Mhm,
the first time in a long time. Um, but yeah, I just coming out of it, it was like, okay, we got a platform and we know we want to make stuff. I don't think we
mhm,
want to make something every day. And I don't think we just want to like assembly line this shit. So for that stuff, I really have kind of taken my time. I actually don't need to make content right now, like monetarily. Like it is a
mhm,
thankfully I'm in a position where I just don't have to do it to pay the
mhm,
bills or anything. So it gives me an opportunity to just kind of throw a few lines in the water and see if they get any hits.
mhm.
And in the background, I'm kind of assessing what I want to do with the foundation that I built that is going to be good and enjoyable for all the people that showed up for all the craft and in the art, but for also more people who might want to enjoy it as well. So because I like making stuff and I like making people laugh, and
Mhm,
that's ultimately like what a waste if I were to just walk away completely. And it's also very healing for me to be able to do that, and
mhm.
you know, just to be goofy. Like someone remarked to me the other day, they were like, "Dude, you in real life and you in those videos, two completely different people.
What?
Like, could not be more like opposite."
Which character were they talking about?
I think just me in general. I do feel like when I get on, like when I hit the record button, like
Mhm.
I do switch gears in a very weird way. But yeah, like
Do you think you're
uh,
switching gears, or because I feel like I can relate to what you're saying. Um, I I care a lot, like, about how people see me, but when it's just, like, my phone, it's 100% just, like, organic personality. So do you,
yeah,
which in a way for me is technically switching a gear. Would you say that that's just, like, when you're pressing record, you're just kind of, like, free to say whatever you think is fun and funny, so you're smiling and it's enjoyable and it's like, "Heck yeah, boom."
it kind of is. Yeah, like you know, I I like to take it the extra mile, right? Like
Mhm.
the me on camera is kind of like an amalgam of like every cool guy I want to be, plus every like, you know, like I'm consistently making videos about things that just like grind my gears, and I'm kind of like whining in a way that it's like, dude, this warrant officer is so precious, and he's just like he doesn't like these things so hard that he's yelling into his phone about it, and that's all orchestrated. Like I don't, you know, like really feel that passionately about any of that, but it's fun to play a character who just like hates Church's chicken and he's just yelling into his phone. Like
Mhm.
that's fun. That's funny. I heard a couple weeks back like no one on their deathbed is gonna lay there and think, man, I should have been less cringe.
Yeah. Well,
Nah, man.
that
When
stuff
I'm
can keep you up at night sometimes if you're not
when
too
I'm
careful.
when I'm old and I got the little oxygen thingy under my nose, I'm gonna be like, man, I should have gone for broke. I should have just gone crazy with it. But no, it's healing. It's nice to be able to go to that space where I can, and that's kind of why I like am reassessing like how I want to do content again, is because I want to be able to do that on a more polished scale and
Mhm.
on a more like easily reproducible scale, not in a way that it's like I have to make this every day, and I've got this schedule that's going to cripple me, and it's cutting away time from my kids, and it's cutting into my work schedule, stuff like that. I don't ever want it to be like that, but I also do want it to be a thing of like it has, you know, polish to it, and it's funny,
Mhm.
you know, and it kind of starts to touch, you know, you might even see this on TV. It looks that good, and it's funny, like it, you know, the stuff on TV. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, you know, but yeah, other than that, you know, I do feel good. I feel hopeful. It's just kind of working through the bad moments, working through the hard moments, and you know, kind of trying to shepherd my kids through some hard moments.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I don't think this is more devastating for anyone than for them. So, just kind of trying to lead them through that. You know, be patient with them. They've been very patient with me, which is I'm very grateful for that. They're really good kids. So, yeah.
Where would you like your content to go? I'm curious what you're cooking up or thinking up. And while you're pondering that question, I do want to say that sometimes when you're making something, from what it sounds like, or I could be wrong, but sometimes when you're like fully becoming this character and you're pressing record and you're pressing play and you're having this fun and you're embellishing and you're, you know, putting this energy into it, sometimes that is just your brain in a way, or your heart in a way, like taking care of yourself and allowing yourself to just flourish in this little direction in this moment. And that is kind of what you were saying. It is healing. And I think a lot of creators would agree with you. It is healing. And it is in a way like something unique, something unique. It's a very interesting place to have like your phone making a video be something like that, and actually have it kind of be like, oh, this is nice, it's kind of great to be a little weirdo sometimes.
It is, and I think that was my initial attraction to it. Was just like, hey, man, I can all the goofy thought. I mean, like I walk around, like my inner thoughtscape is just like a night of Adult Swim. Like it's just tons of like odd things and funny jokes and like you know, I'm legitimately the guy in the meeting. Everyone's thinking about like schedules, spreadsheets, and I'm over there just like thinking about things that don't matter. You know what I mean? Like thinking about cartoons and video games and goofy shit. But yeah, I think for the long term, you know, like I've kind of taken a step back and tried to be a friend to myself in that,
Mhm.
like, hey man, like you're talented, right? We got it. You
Very.
play music and you can do funny voices and stuff like that. I think getting more disciplined about how I put those to work.
In what way?
I think you know like not just doing it in a way to kind of like show off on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm.
legitimately like I think some of my more like successful content has been content where like if I make a song about chili mac MREs.
I love that song. I
So
literally played it. I heard it, and like I kept listening to it. I was like, this is a really good song. This is like straight up the 90s, early 2000s, like catchiness, kind of like
so
fun.
that feels like peak Josh. That feels like peak One Punch Dad. Like that is just like it's funny, it's a bop. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those rare moments where I felt like this is like me taking a lot of my talent and putting it in one thing, and I can legitimately do that maybe once a week. And so
That's
it's
a
kind of
lot
like
though.
if yeah, like it's not a thing that I can just like if I had to do that once a day, it would by Friday you wouldn't be laughing anymore. It wouldn't be good. You wouldn't enjoy it. So kind of like accepting some risks in that, hey, we're not going to get those daily dopamine hits of like I posted and okay, by 2 hours later, it's got this many thousands of views. All right, that's very successful. All right, 4 hours later, it's underperforming. I wonder what happened.
Very
I don't want,
analytical.
yeah, I don't want to do that with my content anymore.
You're picking it apart.
That's the part I miss the least. I think is like watching the little white numbers in the bottom corner go up or not go up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that honestly, that video, the Chili Mac song, like is not my most like viewed song or video, whatever. But a lot of people who have watched it really enjoyed it,
Oh yeah,
and
that was
and,
great.
and that is more special to me than just like, hey, it did 1 million views and a bunch of people who don't really care saw it. Because that's the thing I have to remember too. Like if you have a video get 500,000 views, most of those views come from people who don't know or care who you are and have no compunction about being an asshole to you. So, so I try to remember that I'm not making things for them. I'm making things for the people who show up and support me, and and have been kind to me and encouraged me to make more content. So,
It's
but
the
yeah,
people
like
who like your personality. It's the people who like what you like to make.
yeah, and I want to reward that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my biggest thing is wanting to reward people who came from one joke and did the whole page jump thing where they go to your page and like, what else is this guy up to?
Mm-hmm.
And showing them something else that they enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just kind of trying to figure that out. I've been working on a lot of animation practice lately, which again, not my top performing content, but it's something like. So one of my biggest inspirations in my life has been Seth MacFarlane, the guy who created Family Guy and American Dad, and
Yeah.
Ted and all that stuff.
He plays
Um,
all the voices.
yeah, like super talented dude. He has like a Christmas album where he's like singing like chestnuts roasting on it. Like he can do anything. You know what I mean? He
Mm-hmm.
acts, he plays music, he sings and stuff. Like I've always just found that guy to be just a powerhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also like if you watch him in interviews, he's very humble and charming, and it's just like his energy very much inspires me. And so it inspires me to take a look at everything that I can do,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's playing music or doing funny voices or anything, physical or, part of like animating is I want to be able to take, because like with like the craft and stuff, that took off to a point where people were keeping track of like the lore. And so
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess it has lore now. So being able to maybe bring that to life in some way that actually it feels like a thing that you can watch and follow and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
stay with, and like kind of like your skibbity toilets, right? Like it's just like
Jesus.
started from a silly song to it, now it's like the latest one just came out, let's go watch it. Like I
God.
legitimately I want to make something like that. So
Do you think that if you were to do that, you would have it on your platform or military platform, or do you think you would make like in like a second platform for that? Are you
so
thinking of it? 'Cause it's a hard thing to figure out.
it is, and I'm sure you've kind of thought about that too, like as you kind of branch off, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you do a podcast or you have a separate effort you feel like might be better served by its own channel.
Mm-hmm.
I will say right now, honestly, in the effort of, or in the interest of like kind of consolidating everything, I'm probably just going to keep it all on one channel.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends. Like if it needs to grow, if functionally it has to grow outside of Onexpunchxdad or whatever, then I'm content to let it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for right now, especially just kind of coming off the bench in a weird way,
Mm-hmm.
I, just making it a one-stop shop. And if the algorithm doesn't like that, and it's going to say like, whoa, you're supposed to be making phone videos
Military.
in your car in your uniform. What is this animated song, whatever? Like, then maybe it doesn't perform very well, and that's the end of it. But it's what I want to make, and I think that's my attitude going into this kind of whatever Onexpunchxdad season 2 is. If I don't like it, I'm not making it. If it's not gonna make me laugh when I scroll back to it a year from now, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna make it today. So that's kind of my attitude coming into it is no more assembly line jokes.
Turn and burn kind of.
Yeah. I think my skills have kind of outgrown that a little bit, and it's not. I'm not trying to be braggadocious here, but I can do more.
Yeah.
And I can do more with less if I need to. So, and also it gets functional too, right? Like I don't want to be trapped in my room against a green screen or something like that, making videos every night when my kids are like, "Daddy, play with us."
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I remember when I was in for active duty, it was during my lunch hour, so I'd go like grab some fast food, I'd throw it in my car, I'd make a video as fast as I could, that I'd put the cheeseburger, put it in my freaking pocket, and then walk into the clinic and then put it on the desk, and then in between patients I would like try and eat something. But it definitely
Yeah.
it's oddly time consuming, and I would agree with you that it's there's there's like two different styles, and I think both are successful. One is post when you're happy doing it and you're having fun and it doesn't feel like you're it's taking away from you. And then there's the one where it's like, okay, I'm going to be a workhorse. I'm going to make, you know, six videos in one day, post today, three tomorrow, then like keep it and like have, and you're just slamming the algorithm with content. That's also successful, but both are successful. And um sometimes one is better for people, sometimes the other is better for people. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of us, um, not just content creators, but of course, people that enjoy your content. Personally, I remember um, I was following you, I think before we even became friends. And I do want to say, sorry, I'm scrolling right now, but you were what inspired me to make a podcast.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, you were 100% when you brought me on your podcast. Um, I was really like, "Oh, this is like really cool." And then that seed was planted, and then like over time,
Mm.
that kind of grew. And then I want you to know this, Allison Davier, Marpat Muscle Mommy,
Mhm.
she just made a podcast called Military Mamas, and she was like, I was inspired by you. And I was like, well, I was inspired by One Punch. And so you've inspired like two people just by like being yourself. And that podcast wasn't anything military, but you have like 100% like affected others in like in different ways. So I just wanted you to know that.
No, that and sincerely, that's what it's all about for me. That is the highest compliment you could pay me. My favorite movie for many years, and I say for many years because I kind of have since drifted away from it just because like the diminishing returns factor. But my favorite movie for many years was The Matrix.
Oh, the Matrix.
I love The Matrix. Still
Hmm.
love it, but it's not my favorite anymore. Um, but the reason I saw that when I was in fourth grade, and it was kind of a turning point for me. And the reason I loved it so much is because how badly it inspired me to want to be an actor and to be. It's a completely original story, right? It's not based on a comic book. It's not based on, it's just two brothers, or I guess sisters now, but who had a great idea and were like, wouldn't it be cool if? And they filled it with all the things that they loved from their childhood and their enjoyment of anime and comic books and stuff like that. And they made that. And it changed the chemistry in my brain. That is kind of the attitude I go into content creation with. Now, obviously, like I haven't made anything on that scale, but I love to know that something that I would make, whether it's a podcast or a video about joining the army or whatever, anything that I would make would inspire someone to go out and to also make. I think
Hmm.
that should be the goal of anything that you create. All the best music to me is music that makes me come here to my desk and be like, man, I wonder if I can construct something that kind of plucks those same neurons the way that song did for me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, that to me is my goal in making content is to enable other people. And what a wonderful time to be alive, in
Yeah.
2025, the tools are such. I mean, 15 years ago, Hammy, to have a podcast, you had to have a studio. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
you had to, it wasn't just everyone and their dog was just doing this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, the tools to create, the tools to make music, the tools to animate, the tools to 3D model, the tools to 2D animate, the tools to make the things that you enjoy watching, cameras and lights and all that stuff. They're so readily available. So I would encourage anyone who would hear this who's always wanted to make something or tell a story or tell a joke,
Mm-hmm.
you just go do it, man. It's so available to us
Mm-hmm.
now, and there's really like like one of my greatest fears in life is dying knowing that I still had stories that I could tell, and I still had
Mm-hmm.
things that I wanted to make, um, that I just never let cultivate to the point that I got them out there. Like it bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So and that causes me to try to make too many things at once, and I maybe sometimes lose focus, and I feel like I got two frying pans in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I will forever be making stuff.
What do you think about long form content? Like, I'm just thinking for your stories, like, like you have a great setup, you know how to talk into a mic, you know how to control your voice and all that. You're able to tell a story very well. Coming on 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in front of the camera and just be like, this is the story that I'm telling today. And then you can just, push that to YouTube. And I feel like because you're very good at telling stories. I suck. So I recognize when people are good at telling stories because I'm like, how the hell do you do that? I suck. I really suck at telling stories.
Well, I'll out myself as being like living under a rock, maybe. But I got followed by this account on Instagram maybe 3 years ago,
Mhm.
and I just thought it was maybe another guy from kind of our stratosphere, like a military guy. I think he did have a military background. Um, but I was just like, it's another one of those guys, I guess. Ended up meeting Mr. Ballin.
Who?
Uh, Mr. Ballin. He's the guy who's like long hair, has a backwards hat. He's always telling like creepy stories on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. You don't know Mr. Ballin? I
I'm
bet if
really bad with names, but I
he's
will
been on
look him up.
he's been on like Tom Segura and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he's a big deal.
And he follows
Um,
you?
this was many years ago, and we don't like talk or anything. This isn't
Send
like
him a freaking message. What are you doing?
I thanked him for following me, and he said, "Yeah, man, you're really funny." That was about
Oh,
as
I see him. Yeah.
yeah. But he does that kind of storytelling stuff that you talk about, and
Yeah.
I love that. He's amazing at that. I think my thing is that it's twofold, right? One, the market for a white guy in a hat sitting in front of a
Okay.
SMB7 talking is very saturated right now. And I I honestly like my goal is to kind of transition a little bit behind the scenes. I would much rather exist in people's mind as a voice or a cartoon than this.
But if you make a video and you have a really good storytelling, you go, hey, blah 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 blah. You say hi. You have to say hi to people. Do you DM people?
Like who?
Anybody? Like, do you like if
Like
somebody
people I know.
like okay, well then how do you make new people that you know? Like if you see somebody that does voice stuff or whatever and say like,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
yeah, no, yeah. I've had conversations with like other creators and like voice actors and stuff like that, and it's been like like if they follow you back or whatever, just be like, hey, huge fan. You know what I mean? Like
let's work together. Hey, huge fan.
well,
Come on.
there's also an element of like, especially if it's someone who is like a voice actor out in LA who's doing actual like union work, they can't do anything for me. Um,
Mm.
I would legitimately to work on like the big stuff, I'd have to build up kind of a body of work and then find representation and then join.
Body of work, you have like hundreds of thousands of followers.
Not necessarily a foot in the door to making stuff for the screen and in
But
all.
you're somebody. There are voice actors with no freaking followers. You need to think more highly of yourself.
I,
You
I
need to think way more highly of yourself. Are you freaking kidding me?
I'm just being pragmatic. That's all. I'm being realistic. But
Oh my
no, and I hear you, and I'm very grateful. It's very flattering. But I'll tell you that um, I think there's a large part of me too that just wants to remain in control.
God.
Right? Like I want to have an element of control over a lot of what I'm a part of. You know what I mean? Now, absolutely. Like if I got a call tomorrow, like, "Hey, we love your voice. Come do a voice on a character for like a video game
Creative
that we're
control is what you mean.
kind of yeah." Like as far as like Onexpunchxdad is concerned, like I don't know what it's going to look like a year from now or even 5 years from now.
Mhm.
but I know at its core, like as far as that's concerned, I want to be kind of in control of that. And I know for my part, like telling stories, making people laugh, just kind of in the joke language that I've kind of established for myself at this point. That's what I want to do. Absolutely, like I absolutely still have an aspiration to go voice act. Like I would love to put on like an anime that comes out in a couple of years and just be like, that guy, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Or to go to Comic-Con and like sign the thing. And, like people are like, can you say the thing? And I'm like, ha ha ha. You know, I want to do that. Absolutely, like that would rock to do that.
So that's your dream job. You're saying that into the universe. I
That is
want to.
that is a dream job. Yeah,
The
fuck
dream
it.
job.
Yeah. I want to be a voice actor someday in a thing that people enjoy.
Do your radio voice or whatever, like the voice that you think would be like your character.
The radio? Oh, the radio? Well, you wouldn't do the radio voice. Like, I mean, it depends on
I don't know the voice words. I'm not a voice person. Whatever,
what
like your
you
like your
describe a character.
go-to character voice, like
The go-to character voice.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just depends on what, I have like for my videos, a lot of times I'll turn on the kind of like announcer guy, right? Use, you know, we've been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended warranty.
That's so
You know,
good.
that guy is
Oh
it's
my
corny, you know, and it's, you know, especially if you say just like funny, goofy shit with that voice, like skibbity toilet, you know, like sounds even more silly. That one, the one I'm most proud of, I wish people would remark on more, is like my like bad guy voice, like my Batman.
I was about to say,
voice.
would you have a villain one? Give like what is it? Share it. What's like
Oh
your
yeah, just like super deep, like it's like the guy who used to like
do it?
like the shows on AMC, like Walking Dead and Breaking, like tonight on an all new episode of The Walking Dead. And
Perfect.
then, yeah,
That's so good.
yeah, I would do that. Like that would be fun to me.
Can you do one saying like something like if you're not a wimp and you don't want to, and
If
you know
you're
the
not
Air Force
drinking water, War Hamster's gonna come find you and snap your neck in your sleep.
Perfect.
There.
Perfect. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. The army needs to get you to like be in a speaker in a car and have your voice projected through neighborhoods and be like, if you're not lame, join the army. Stop wasting your life. Dead is stupid.
They've had me do a couple, like I've been like the MC or whatever at a couple ceremonies, and I was it's so weird doing it there, because like that's like I try for as little overlap as possible. Like I do not want to be Onexpunchxdad in the building. I'm normally like, I want to be just like, hey, come do my job, speak my piece, and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of times it's like, hey, come do the voice.
They got to show pony you a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It happens, but I just go with it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do want to just before we wrap up, where can people find you? YouTube, Instagram? Do you have a Facebook?
I do have a Facebook.
Oh, lucky you. What's your
yeah.
Facebook? Is it Onexpunchxdad?
Yeah, it's Onexpunchxdad. I was able to. So Meta is so weird about like the linking of accounts and stuff. I think at one point there was a fake me on Facebook that had like triple the followership that I have on there.
Don't even get me started.
This is someone just ripping my. I think I actually followed your fake account at one point. I was like, oh, damn it, she's out here too. And then come to realize
she lives in India.
Yeah. Good for her. She's doing an Eat, Pray, Love. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are my big ones. I was on Twitter for a little bit. Don't like, or X, whatever. I don't like it on there.
Scary place.
It is very cursed. It is super. Like, I downloaded the app to start putting my videos over there, and I scrolled for like 10 minutes and saw a guy get sucked into a machine and chopped to pieces. Yeah. Like, this is great. Yeah.
It's freedom. It's freedom to post. It's no what is it called? Hushing of accounts and stuff.
Censorship and all that.
It's no censorship.
It's great. That's good. America. Also, like,
dang.
Not what I want to just see casually smack in the middle of my day. So I've kind of let my Twitter go quiet, but yeah, Facebook,
Same.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and then I also stream on Twitch as well.
You do stream on Twitch.
I do,
You mostly
which has
stream at
been
night, right?
I do. I'm kind of as far as the mill makers, the mill talkers or mill influencers. Like I'm kind of like I'm the Conan, right? I'm on late after everyone else, so you can catch me normally around 10 o'clock streaming. Actually, me and my son are going to play Chain together again tonight. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
won't keep you, but that's perfect for people on CQ. Honestly, you got to post on your Instagram story and on your TikTok story.
That's funny you said. I get a ton of dudes who are like, "Yeah, I got something to watch while I'm on staff duty or whatever." I'm like, "Cool, awesome." So that's my demographic when I'm streaming is get stuck on 24-hour duty.
The prisoners, the prisoners.
Yeah, enslavement system.
Well, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for inspiring me to make a podcast. I'm really, really grateful. I'm grateful to you. Thank you for, being an open person and letting people on and just being yourself. And thank you for wanting to come on. I hope to have you again on in the future. I had a great time talking to you today.
Definitely. Yeah. Say the word.